There's been so many examples of influencers going on brand trips and being treated completely different to each other based on things like follower count. No, that's it. People going on brand trips and getting a smaller room because they have less followers. Maybe not the same amount of free product. Their PR looks different. Maybe they haven't received the full range of products. Maybe they got an envelope with a few products in. Influencers are treated by the amount of followers they have and what they can give back to the company, right? So there's this brand called, I think it's called Clear Dia, dyslexia, and a content creator called Mitchie. Now they had this whole situation, right? She was invited out to dinner by this brand, and something happened that left her feeling uncomfortable, we'll say.
Becoming an influencer has helped me grow such a thick skin because this industry will casually find so many ways to humble and humiliate you. Tonight has to be in the top three most humiliating experiences of my life. I just came home from a brand dinner. The whole day leading up to the brand dinner, they were hyping up this super generous gift that they were going to give us at dinner, which is honestly just so nice. We sit down at the table, they tell us to start recording ourselves. So I put my phone in 0.5. I'm recording ourselves because they say that they explicitly want to get our reactions to this gift. They tell us to close our eyes. They place things on the table. My eyes are closed. They tell us to open it. And I realized that they gifted everybody at the party a Louis Vuitton gift. All 20 other people at the party a Louis Vuitton gift. Except me. I was the
Oh.
only one that didn't receive anything. And it took so much in me to take the moment with grace and just take it for what it was. But I did feel that initial stab of humiliation and imposter syndrome.
Especially if they've asked you to set up and start filming. If they've invited you on this trip, on this dinner, you are of some value to the brand. So if they didn't want to give you this gift, they shouldn't have invited you in the first place. That's horrendous. She's about to say she felt imposter syndrome. I would too. I'd be like, well, why the fuck am I here then? Not that I would expect a free gift, but it's a clear indicator of how that brand sees you in terms of value. No, you don't get the expensive free gift because you actually don't, because you're not that valuable. Your following isn't that valuable. That's crazy.
And started wondering why was I even invited? Why am I in this room? Is it because I'm not good enough? They don't deem me worthy enough for a gift. And I just kind of had to sit there and be happy for all my friends, which I genuinely was really happy for all my friends that got this generous gift. They 100% deserve it. It was just a little bit awkward to be the one singled out as being undeserving of the gift,
Yeah.
and just kind of rock with the moment and have a smile on my face because there were cameras everywhere. Not only was everyone's phones out recording everybody's reactions, but they also had a professional camera crew recording our reactions as well. And I was just sitting at the table. Yeah. Now that a couple hours have passed, I do genuinely think this is the funniest experience, but I'll have to say it's funny and humiliating.
It is kind of embarrassing. And I know it may be like, oh no, boo hoo, influencer doesn't get her free Louis Vuitton thing. But I think it'll be the same with any gift. If it was a card, if it was something small, you would still be like, okay, well, why didn't I get one when literally everyone around me has? I don't think it's so much the what the actual gift is, but the sentiment of the gift and who has been chosen to receive one and who hasn't, you know? Okay, so we do actually have footage of this event taking place, and she shows us. Let's see.
Oh, are you thinking?
Wait, so the brand could actually see her filming herself and covering her eyes and waiting for a surprise, and at no point were they like, shit, we forgot. And they're big boxes, they're huge big boxes as well. I thought it's just like a little, ooh. She got a card. Which is cute if everyone had got a card, but they have big fucking boxes from Louis Vuitton. She's responding to a comment that says, and they asked you to delete this video. What? No gift can make up for the humiliation you experienced.
Okay. Hey guys, I took down some of my videos yesterday afternoon and I want you guys to hear it directly from me. that it wasn't because anybody asked me to, nor did they ask me to say anything that I'm about to say in this video, nor is it because I'm afraid to burn relationships with brands. At the end of the day, I'm not a full-time influencer. I'm a 9 to 5 corporate girly, and like, if I have to pay for my dinners and pay for my skincare, that is just regular life. I took it down because it just didn't feel right with all the negativity and discourse that it was spreading beyond what I shared about my feelings. Especially sad was a lot of the really harmful accusations and theories around it being purposefully orchestrated or that the staff stole the gifts. The discourse just went well
Oh
beyond
shit! But if the staff stole the gifts, they wouldn't. Well, that's no, that doesn't work
what I
out. That doesn't
shared
work out.
about my feelings. And I know you guys want to see me go like full scorched earth and drag on this drama, but I just don't think that is the right way to move forward. And I just truly wish everybody involved the best. Obviously, yeah, it was an embarrassing experience, but I've since heard from the brand what was happening behind the scenes that I didn't know. And had I known that they were looking for the box all throughout dinner while I was there, like honestly, that would have been enough reassurance for me.
But why didn't they mention it then? It'll be like, oh my gosh, we can't. Or realize they didn't have one, quickly pick them all up and be like, guy, open your eyes. We've made a mistake. We'll be 1 second. We'll do this in a minute, and then find it. You know what I mean?
To give you guys some insight into
Bad,
where my head
bad
was at when I made that video,
management.
I was honestly just so shocked that they asked me to film my reaction to
Yeah.
getting nothing. And at first, when it all happened, I genuinely thought it was a mistake. But when I raised that I didn't get a gift, those like feelings of humiliation and embarrassment were intensifying, and I was texting my fiance like I want to go home and cry, but I also don't want to make it awkward for everybody at this table and like ruin the vibes for everybody. Someone at my table did text me after the dinner saying like that was not okay. We ride at dawn for midnight.
So people did notice. They did notice that she also didn't get one.
So I replied, haha, like it's okay, it's gonna make a good story time. And I went home and I made a video about how I was feeling. This is the internet. I know I can't control everybody's reactions, but I am genuinely so sad and regretful at how much people ran with these like really serious accusations that this was purposefully orchestrated or that somebody stole the gifts. Like the video was just meant to express how I felt being in the moment. Thank you guys for continuing to hear me out. I just want to continue reiterating that no one deserves this level of hate. There are real people behind the brand, and yes, they could have done some things better. I could have done some things better too. We are all human. We're not perfect. We all
But no, I disagree. So she told the story. She was like, it's fine, it's okay. She wasn't like, this fucking brand did this and I hate them and they targeted me and all. I think she was very pleasant, very normal, very like, she didn't direct anyone to go and hate on the brand. I mean, they will naturally because it's TikTok. But like, it's fine. Like, she was fine.
make mistakes, and I think we just have to be more understanding of each other. And I genuinely hope that you guys can give this brand an honest try. I genuinely wish them
Oh,
the
that's so nice of us.
best. And again, I just want to really encourage y'all to lower the temperature a bit.
She's basically like, you all need to calm down. It's not that deep. It was just a bit embarrassing. The brand had a reason. I think the way they dealt with it was really bad. If they were looking for that box throughout the whole dinner, why did no one come out to and be like, we're really sorry. We've just realized we've lost one of the boxes. We have one for you. We just don't know where it is. Or when they were laying them out, realize, oh wait, we don't have one. Gather them up and be like, guys, we're really sorry. Something's gone wrong. You know, we'll send them to you or something like that.
Whew, okay, long-awaited update. Now that I'm done with work, I have so much ground to cover, so I'm going to try to talk really
It says in this comment, why are none of the influencer friends around you speaking up for you?
fast. Top of the agenda that I really want to emphasize, please do not blame my friends at the table. They are
Yeah, that's
completely
weird.
blameless. I'm seeing a lot of comments asking why they didn't stand up for me. And when the chaos and all the excitement of the unboxing wore down and more of my table started to realize what had happened, that I didn't receive the gift, they were just as confused as I was. One of the girls at the table also insisted that I take her gift, which really speaks to her heart and her character. So please, please, please do not use this as an opportunity to witch hunt and leave mean comments. They deserve to enjoy the gift. It was very intentional on my part to not mention what the brand was. Like, this was never meant to be a dog pile on the brand. I
Oh,
feel so much love and support. Honestly, like, overwhelmed and shocked at how hard you guys are riding for me. But please don't think that you have to leave mean comments on the brand's pages in order for me to feel your love and support. I also want to say they did send me an apology today, and they did offer to send me the gift to make it right. I know a lot of you guys want to see me receive the
okay. So that tells me they didn't have one for her because they would have offered to send it out anyway at that dinner. They would have been like, "Oh, we'll send it out to you here." Well, I've been to an event where something was meant to be there and it wasn't there, and they've said to everyone, "We're going to send it to your house," and you receive it later. But it shouldn't be if they were going to give it to her in the first place. It should have been a thing of like, oh, we'll send it to you, but that day at the dinner, we'll send it out to you. We're so sorry. Not like, oh, we're sorry. We'll send you the gift now that it's blown up. They never had one for her in the first place.
gift, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from when I say that I kindly turned them down on that offer. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, my passport is going to work just fine without a cover. I'm privileged to even have a passport.
And listen, am I right? Who works in an airport? So they were given Louis Vuitton passport covers. Don't you have to take your passport out every time you hand it over to someone because it's not a thing anymore? Am I right?
Lastly, I'm learning in the comments from another attendee at the event that apparently I was just a plus one, and maybe that explains
Oh,
why I was excluded from the gifting. Maybe I was the only plus one at that event. I'm really not sure what happened. I do want to explain the
oh.
timeline. I was sitting at that dinner for maybe around like 2 or more hours after the unboxing. Within those 2 hours, no one came up to me to reassure me, no one came up to me to apologize to me. After the unboxing, I did kind of just like subtly ask one of the staff members, hey, I didn't receive the gift because I genuinely thought that I was passed over by mistake. I was told, don't worry, and kind of brushed off. So I don't really know what to do with that information, that I was just a plus one. At the end of the day, it's okay. I'm okay. This industry is tough. It's not going to be the first time I was humbled or the last time I was humbled. I really appreciate you guys hearing my story out. And if this is your first introduction to my page, I'm just a corporate girly. I make vlogs about working in New York City. I'm not a full-time influencer, and if that's something that interests you, then I hope you stick around.
Okay, this changes things. Okay, we're putting on our horrible, non empathetic businessman brain, right? If she was a plus one to the event, she wasn't invited because of her influence. That's not to say she doesn't have any, but the brand didn't invite her because of who she is. She was invited by somebody else who she invited, and they were like, "Can I have a plus one?" And they said yes. So that would make sense as to why she didn't get a gift. Is okay, so imagine I go to an event and they've bought everyone there a really expensive bag. And I'm like, oh, can I have a plus one? And they're like, yeah. And I bring my mum. No social media following whatsoever. What would be, again, thinking about this in our brand, non empathetic mind, what would be the benefit of giving her that gift when she was the plus one? Plus, having not much of a social media following compared to people that were invited. I know that's probably bad. It's bad to think, but that does kind of make sense as to why the brand didn't give her a gift. Our next video is in response to a comment that says, if they sent you the apology, why wasn't the gift with it instead of offering to send it?
Good morning. It's time to give credit where credit is due. My team did send a note politely declining the gift, but they somehow got my address, I believe, through a friend and sent it anyways, which I think is such a
Well, they really wanted to make it right. Look at those flowers.
sweet gesture. At the end of the day, I don't really know what truly happened behind the scenes. It really could have been just a set of unfortunate circumstances, and one of the gifts was lost and found after the event. I think had somebody communicated that to me at the event and maybe just said like, hey, we're short one, we're looking for it right now. If we don't find it at the event, we will ship it to you. Do not worry, we are so sorry.
I think that's true if you were directly invited by the brand. Again, I know that sounds horrible, but imagine if everyone bought a plus one and they had to buy an extra Louis Vuitton anything for every plus one.
That would have changed the course of all of this. I hope through all of this, you guys have seen a little bit of my heart and character. I made a very real choice not to talk about the brand. I have been doing what I can to not fan the flames. I haven't been liking comments that are hateful or that have wild theories about the staff stealing the gifts. Like, I just don't know what happened. all I know is that I was kind of brushed off at the event and how that made me feel and like how it felt like a humiliation ritual. I feel like I'm spending more time defending other people in this situation than like acknowledging how I felt. And I thank you for so many of the comments that are clocking me on that. I think I just struggle with like so much guilt of how this is all playing out and trying to do the right thing. But again, I do want to give credit where credit is due. The gift has officially landed in the household. Basically, what happened is that they got my address through a friend. They also sent an email to me and my team. When we saw that email, we politely declined on the gift, but by then they had already gotten the address for my friend and sent it anyways. And that's where we are. Hopefully this is the last update of this nature and the air is clear.
I really like her. I think she's sweet. I think there's no ill intent to any of that. I think she's genuinely a really nice person. Brand did actually comment on this whole situation and they said this: "Oh no, I think there was a misunderstanding. We were only able to make a reservation for 20 people at the restaurant, and there were 3 of us from the Clear Day team. We invited 17 guests, 18, 19, 20, and prepared exactly 20 gift sets in case anyone bought a guest." Also, they did buy for a guest. So if she is a +1, they had one ready. Because the 3 of us were carrying all the gifts, the Clear Day kits ourselves, some of the items were stored in one of our team members' backpack and we simply couldn't find it at the time. We actually discovered them after the event ended, and of course, we fully intended to give them to everyone. I'm really sad that it came across the wrong way. I think there may have been a miscommunication yesterday and I'm sorry for the confusion. We truly prepared them for all our guests and would never intentionally leave anyone out. I believe it, and they have a picture of it. Okay, cool. This event was especially meaningful to us because Claire Day was first introduced to the US through influencers last year, and that journey eventually led to us launching at retail. We've always considered influencers to be our customers as well, which is why we wanted to express our gratitude to those who supported us from the very beginning. The gift was never meant to be just a giveaway. We chose a passport holder because our hope is for Claire Day to be more than a passing trend, to be a brand that stays with you throughout different moments of life, accompanying your journey along the way. I'm truly sorry for the misunderstanding. And someone actually posted the gift here, and they actually imprinted the brand's name onto the passport holder, which someone says their brand name at the bottom would piss me off. Yeah, me too. This person says, maybe because you have 158k followers. Did other influencers have a bigger platform? I think it's very rare in the influencer world to be an honest, selfless person. You know, with me, no matter what company you are, what business you are, and you're providing service to someone, you're in talks with somebody as a professional in a professional situation, you should still be professional no matter what the situation is, and they aren't. All right, let me know your opinions down below. This is like, when people are always like, oh yeah, you have to go through a humiliation ritual to be in the Illuminati. Same thing. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, hype the video if you can, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.